we say this is an impulse of magnitude 1, that is unit 1 at 0. This is how mathematically it is written as, but actually what is unit impulse signal is? Unit impulse signal might be considered or regarded or defined as a limiting case of a pulse signal which has got a unit area, and an infinitesimally small width and infinitesimally large height. That is, it is a pulse which has got a very small width, nearly 0, and height is infinitesimally large, but the area under that pulse is always remains unity, that is 1. So actually this 1, which is we are writing delta is 1 at t equal to 0, this 1 is representing the area under that pulse. So sometimes it is written as or defined as more clearly that from minus infinity to infinity, del t dt is 1. That is, area under the pulse is 1. Now, what it means, what the definition I have said, I will just explain it graphically and mathematically. Suppose there is a signal xt, a rectangular pulse, which is having a width delta and magnitude 1 by delta. Now, the area under this pulse is 1, del into 1 by delta, 1. And if you make this delta very small, that is it almost 0, it becomes this width will keep on reducing. It will almost become like a y-axis. And because this is 1 by delta, delta is becoming very small, this will become very large. Right? So the width is infinitesimally small, height is infinitesimally large, but the area will be always del into 1 by delta 1. So that is why the unit impulse function or signal is defined as a limiting case of a rectangular pulse signal which has got an infinitesimally small width and infinitesimally large height, and overall area maintained is always 1. So this one is actually representing this area under this impulse. Clear? So mathematically, if I can say xt as this. Now, how I have written this? If you remember the last unit step signal and the addition of two signals, transformation, that lecture, what is there? Ut is starting from 0 and 1 by delta is multiplied by this, so it means this magnitude is 1 by delta into 1 multiplied by constant. This is ut minus delta. It will start from delta and the magnitude will be again 1 by delta because it is multiplied. Now, if you subtract this signal from this, as we discussed in the transformation on dependent variable, what will happen? This will give me this signal. 1 minus 0, from 0 to delta it will give me 1, and from delta to t infinite, both are 1 by delta, that will give me 0. So this is how we can represent any signal in terms of basic signals like this, right? Now del t is can be viewed as limit xt del tending to 0. So when this will happen, this pulse will become this impulse, and mathematically how that is right will be defined. Clear? So that is what is the unit impulse signal. This is in continuous time domain, and same is in case of discrete time domain. That is del of n is equals to 1 at n equal to 0 and is 0 and not equal to 0. So that is the unit impulse signal in discrete time, and this is in continuous time. Clear? So now next is the properties of unit impulse signal. These properties are very useful and helpful when we are solving any signal and system. This signal is very important. Why it is important is any system response we will study in when we will study Fourier transform, Laplace and Z transform. that system's output for any random signal can be obtained if we know how the system behaves or responds to unit impulse signal. That is, if we know the system's response to impulse signal, from this we can find out its response for any signal. That is what is the this impulse signal is very, very important, right? And these properties, what we are going to study, this will be helpful in that system analysis system over there. So let us discuss the properties of unit impulse signal. So what do we mean by even? We have not discussed right now even or odd, but what we can say is that del of t is equals to del of minus t, right? We know the reversal. So if reversal means it will reverse or create the mirror image or fold across the y-axis. But this exists only at y-axis itself, t equal to 0. So it means whatsoever we do, whether we do reversal, the signal will remain same. So that is why we call it as a even signal or even function. And if we, what will be del of t minus a? That will be the impulse at a of magnitude 1. So it is just like shifting of this impulse from 0 to a from the time shifting property of the transformation on independent variable. Okay. Again, now next is any signal can be sampled if we multiply it with unit impulse signal. That is another important use of impulse signal. That what I mean by that, if we do xt into del of t, what will happen? Suppose this is del t, that is at t equal to 0. This is 1. For all other time it is 0. Now suppose any signal is there, xt. So if you multiply these two signals, what will happen? At all the time it will be 0, 0, 0, 0. Because 0 into this, 0 into whatsoever is it. And only at t equal to 0, whatsoever this will be 1, will be giving, multiply with the value of x at 0. That is, we can write it as equals to x of 0. That is, what is the magnitude of x at 0. Same way, if it is x of t multiplied with del of t minus a, that is what we were discussing earlier. So what will be the answer? X of a. That at time a, what is the magnitude of x? That we can easily obtain if we multiply this with unit impulse. That is another important property of the unit impulse. This can be also written like this. Then the area under this multiplication of these two will be also giving up. That is minus infinity to infinity xt del t dt. What it will be? X of 0. Because at every other place this multiplication will be 0. This is only x of 0. So integration is what? It is the addition, right? Integration, as you studied in the basic mathematics, integration corresponds to addition. That we have discussed in the earlier lecture also. That integration corresponds to the addition. Clear? And this same way, minus infinity to infinity x of t del t minus t naught dt will be x of t. So these properties will be very useful when you will be doing the analysis of systems. But remember how this is coming up. This is coming up from the basics. What is the signal definition is? What do you mean by the multiplication of the signal? What do you mean by time shifting? Using all these. So that is how this property comes. All right. Next, the fourth property is del of at will be 1 by mod A del V. What it means? If you do compression or expansion by A, the magnitude of this impulse will get divided by 1 by del. What it actually means? When you do A is greater than 1, what happens? Signal compresses. Same will happen from the definition that pulse will compress. When the pulse will compress, its magnitude will increase. So that is 1 by del. This is greater than this is. So that will increase. So accordingly, that what will happen? The overall area will always remain 1. If you look at this is pulse del 1 by del. If I compress, if I reduce del, 1 by del will increase, but the magnitude will be 1. If I expand this del and this will decrease, again the overall area will remain 1. So that is what this is actually indicating. That if you do the compression or expansion, the reverse will be effect on the amplitude. If you expand or if you expand on the time domain, that will happen on the magnitude will decrease on the decrease, and if you compress on the time domain, magnitude will increase. So that overall area remains always 1. That is the fourth property. And the fifth property is any signal xt, it can be represented as a combination of large number of impulses. Now what I mean by this? Suppose we have this sinusoidal signal. Now if I consider it, sample it at a different instants, discrete instants, I can show it like this. It is showing the same sinusoidal. Now if I keep on closing this impulses, the distance between these impulses is closed, it will more and more become the same continuously. So that is what is this. I am saying that xt is minus infinity to infinity. The more and more the impulses we will consider close, and the summation of these impulses, that summation of discrete quantities when the distance between the two is very small, changes to integration. If you remember in the mathematics, when you studied in 10th, 12th, 11th, when you studied differentiation and integration, how you studied the integration? Integration was studied as consider a small strip, then another strip, then summation of this, and the limit of this was the integration. That is how you have defined. This part you have studied in class 9th, 10th or 11th, right? So same thing I am saying over here is that if any signal is there, we can consider it as a combination or summation of large number of impulses. And if when this large number of impulses are very closely packed, this summation changes to infinite. So and we can write x, this as x tau del of t minus tau beta. What is this? The magnitude of this x, this impulse at that particular time tau. So if you extend this from minus infinity to infinity, we get the same signal what we have original x. So that is the very useful property that any signal can be written as this, right? Same property in case discrete time, the properties are similar. Signal is even, and this property I can write it as like this: xn equals to sigma k equals to minus infinity to infinity xk del n minus. This is what I was speaking of. That is the summation of large number of impulses. Impulse having the magnitude equal to the signal's amplitude at that time. So that is how this property comes. And this is in discrete. And when these are very close, this becomes continuous and becomes integer. Right? And similarly, the other property in case of discrete is del n equals to un minus u of n minus. Now how this comes from? What is un? At 0 it will be 1, at 1 it will be 1, at 2 it will be 1, at 3 it will be 1, and so on. And what will be un minus 1? It will be shifted by 1. So it will start from 1, 2, 3. Again, the magnitude is 1. Now, if you spread from this, what will be left? Only one impulse at 0. Alright, all other will become 0. 1 minus 1, 0, 1 minus 1, 0, 1 minus like that. We will get this. So that is what it is. Now, again, from where this comes from? This comes from that in continuous time, we have differentiation. Whereas in discrete time, the corresponding term is difference. So this is difference. Okay, so this is difference. And in continuous time, we know if we differentiate ut with t, what we will get is 1. That is impulse at t equal to 0. Because what is differentiation is? When you differentiate this, at 0, this will suddenly give me the change. But what is the change has taken place? It is this much. That is 1. And after this, this is constant, and differentiation of constant will be 0. So what we get is this. So differentiation of unit step is impulse. And in case of, this is in continuous time. In case of discrete time, it is like difference. Okay. So earlier also we discussed, if we have a parabolic signal, we differentiate, we get ramp. If we differentiate ramp, we get unit step. And if we differentiate unit step, we get impulse. And if we further differentiate impulse, we get a double direct function. That is d of del t. This we are not going to study. This is required in the later higher level of research level, double direct function. This impulse function, in some of the books, it is also known as direct delta signal or direct delta function. Direct is from the mathematician, and delta from that impulse, what we are using the delta, very small width, right? So direct delta function. So this is how the signals are related. Differentiate parabola, you get ramp. Differentiate ramp, you get unit step. You differentiate unit step, you get impulse, and like that, double delta. Okay, or reverse it. You integrate them. Unit step, you get. If you integrate unit step, you get ramp. If you integrate ramp, you get parabola. So that is how they are related. So this is all about unit impulse signal in continuous time or discrete time. So we will stop over here. In the next class, we will continue with the other basics. Okay, thank you.